Hey, what's up everybody? So Shay here, and today I thought I would share with you how I contour, like for my everyday looks. Super simple, super easy. Anybody that knows me knows that I am always late. Friends, family, coworkers, all that. Like, I don't know how to be on time. I don't have time always to do all the lines and the dots and all the, the Instagram contouring. So what I do is just integrate it in my routine, gives me the same outcome, and it takes way less time. So I want to share that with you today, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we need to prime our skin and get it ready for all the foundation and whatever that we're going to put on, which really it's not that much because I've kind of like veered away from all that cakey mess. So we're going to prime our skin and get it ready for what we're about to do. So right now I've been using the Becca backlight priming filter stuff. I really like it. It's got some shimmer to it. So we're going to apply that because we want the foundation to glide. Okay, so I'm probably gonna look over here some because my mirror's right here. Probably not the best, but that's what we're doing. I'm gonna get just a little bit more because I did not feel like I got enough on the cheeks. This is. There we go. Okay, and then I use this stuff right here, some more Becca. And this is just like an under eye primer. So we're gonna use that next. It's just kind of like part of my routine here. So we're just getting, like I said, we got to get the skin ready. So I'm trying really hard not to open my mouth. It's like impossible. Look like I'm ready for the gangbang. Like, that's not what we're doing here. We're trying to contour, not, Okay, so that's looking good. And now I'm like an exotic pet because I probably don't need to use as many different products as I do, but for whatever reason I do. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I have some spots that I want to kind of cover up and I really want to make sure that this area is nice and bright. Once I'm primed, I just take, this is just an Anastasia foundation stick in a lighter color, and I just go ahead and like kind of spot that in areas just to make sure, sorry, I'm getting over being sick, just to make sure that we reinforce that coverage. So, and it's like pretty much already almost gone. So we're just gonna, and it doesn't need to be blended perfect because we don't have time to be blending all that. And you're gonna go over it again anyways with your foundation. So this is just that extra security that you're covered. So I do that, and then I really like the brightening here, so we're going to also use it here, and always use this finger and try to pat more than dragging, because you don't want to like add any extra aging. I mean, you can't, the clock's ticking no matter what you do, so might as well do your best to like not damage what you're working with, because you don't get another face when this one's all expired. So we're just gonna be delicate on the under the eye area, and I always do a little bit like past. You see how that's like very uplifting, And I'm not really taking like any extra time to do that. It's just about placement, okay? So it's really showing up a lot better on camera even than it shows up like when I'm looking in my mirror over here, because it looks a lot more muted. And I mean, I might kind of like blend out the edges, but there. I mean, like, that's literally it. Okay. All right, so now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our foundation and we're gonna lay that down. And when you're contouring, you want to highlight like under the eyes, the brow, and you know, like the nose, things like that. And then you want to like actually have darkness like here and like temples, maybe forehead, things like that. Okay, so this is gonna look a little weird at first. I already look weird right now, but I promise you, like at the end of this is gonna be quick, easy peasy. It really is just like the easiest way to contour. So now I'm going to put on my foundation, and because we're cutting a lot of steps, I want the foundation to be darker than it's supposed to be. Okay, so the foundation is like not going to be my skin color, and that's fine. Like, that's totally fine, because I mean, your bronzer, for instance, when you put your bronzer on, is it your skin color? No, it's like a making you look tan or sun-kissed, whatever, and it also gives you that extra definition. And so that's what I do. I use darker foundation, so that's the next step. And I'm trying to decide, I usually mix it. I don't know, this one's kind of low though. I might use the Mercier. We'll start with just a little bit of this. I love this foundation, by the way. This is by Pretty Vulgar, and I think it's called like Lava Foundation. It doesn't have like it just says Pretty Vulgar right here, but it doesn't actually have, it's just called Cool AF. I absolutely love this foundation, and I'm totally getting it again. Like, I'm pretty sure Tati reviewed it. That might have been where I seen it first, but anyways. Okay, so if you'll notice, I do just put the foundation directly on my face. The reason for that, again, is because I'm always in a hurry. I'm always running late. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time to do it the other way. So I put it on the forehead, and I put it in the cheek area. See, we have the brightening here, now we put it in the cheek area. So now we're going to start with just that smallish amount. I mean, maybe to some people it's a lot, I don't know. But okay, so we're going to start with that, and the first thing we're going to do is now I'm going to start on the forehead. As you can see, it is darker. That's fine. And we're going to blend up, because we're not doing the whole forehead. So we're gonna blend up and over. We want it like on the top of the forehead and the temples. Okay, so that's a good place to start. And then we're going into the cheeks. So I'm mainly focusing on my cheek area, and then we're gonna blend. So and there's no way that's enough foundation, so okay, so now I'm going to come back in with the Mercier, just because this is the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. and just because the other one's out. I like this one a lot too, but that Pretty Vulgar one, I don't know what it is about it, but like I'm obsessed. It's a great foundation. So again, we're gonna go, this one kind of has a mind of its own, but we're gonna go to the cheek area, and I'm not gonna put any more on the forehead right now because we'll blend, I mean the brush will hold on to some, so we're gonna not do that right now. And I always hold my little baby hairs back because I don't want to get makeup in my hair. I think that's annoying. And then we go up the side, just the side of the nose, not on the nose, but we go up the side. Like that. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to the forehead. Trying not to get it like on my hair. And then we're going to, now that we've used most of the product like on the cheeks, see how there's like none here? That's perfectly fine. That's what we want. Now I'm going to take kind of like what's left and kind of blend it down a little bit. Only on this spot, okay? And that's because I go down the neck because I'm using dark foundation. And just because I have like pretty much my whole chest exposed, I'm like barely touching the brush to me. But we want it to be like, you know, like you don't want it to be like hard line or hard line. You want it to just kind of blend. So it just like looks cohesive. All right, and now I'm gonna just kind of take a look and see how I feel about like the coverage and make sure that we got everything covered that I was wanting to have covered. And I feel like I'm gonna do like the tiniest little dot, just the tiniest little dot on this side. And then I'm actually gonna dab it on both sides. Okay. And then I always finish by blending down the neck because for the next part we're highlighting and we're also concealing. So I basically combined those steps. So instead of doing like foundation, concealer, contour, highlight, dot, dot, we're doing foundation and contouring at the same time. And then we're doing our concealer and highlighting at the same time. Okay? So we don't want there to be lots of this darker product on you. It's fine to have a little bit, it's going to be there, but you just don't want the coat to be like, or the brush to be wet with this dark foundation like when you're going to do the concealer. So I always just finish going down the neck until it feels like pretty dry, so I know we're not like doing a whole lot of like mixing. And then now, because this like little step is because I did my brows already and I don't want there to be like any patchiness or misses like next to that eyebrow line. So I'm just gonna take this little brush, it's just a little concealer brush, it's just like a little Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just gonna like kind of tap it on my brush a little bit where there's product, because it's going to hold product. And then I'm just going to just line that area. So I'm going to look in the mirror where I can actually see, because I'm lined, so I'll be right back. So we're just going to make sure that one side done. Okay. Super quick, super simple. Okay, so now I just got a new concealer. This is the Juvias Place, and I get the lightest color I can get. And I was using like the Jeffree Star concealer, but I just ran out, so I wouldn't pick this up at my Ulta because that's all I have here, and they don't have Jeffree Star, so I just went ahead and got this. Okay, so now, and I used it only one time, so I know now a little bit. I was used to using the Jeffree, so it's just different formulas. Okay, so we already kind of have some of that brightening going on here to kind of reinforce that, because like I said, I really like a nice bright under eye. I think that looks great. And we noticed we didn't put foundation over top of it, and there's two reasons for that. Again, because we don't want to just end up blending a lighter color and a darker color together to come up with a whole new color. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep it separate, because we're also contouring at the same time, and also because we don't want foundation and concealer and contour and highlight all caked on top of one another, because then you're going to have like pancake face. Okay, so we don't want to have all that on here either. That's going to be what's going to give you creasing, and what's going to maybe even make you look older, that kind of thing. We don't want like a ton of product built, especially on your under eye. Okay, so it looks like it's showing up a lot more in camera, but like it's a very thin layer of what I put on already, and that was just to reinforce that it's going to be bright. Okay, so now a little bit with this stuff seems to kind of go a long way, so I just do like a stripe under the eye. And then I kind of go back and kind of move it around just to make sure that okay, now that looks good. Okay, and then we're gonna do this spot right here where we didn't put foundation, and then we're gonna do down the nose. We don't need a ton. That was what I found out yesterday. I did some down the nose, and I was like sitting here trying to blend it out for a minute. All right, and then this is the only spot where it kind of gets mixed. I do it above the lip and just a little bit on the chin. And this time also, because now we want to be able to have that lightness, we brought the darkness like down, so we're gonna have the darkness will be on our jawline, which is one of the contour areas. But I always, when I blend this area, I kind of work the product this way just to kind of lighten this part. But I'm just this stuff seems to blend pretty good, so hopefully I'm not making a mistake here, but I'm just gonna add a couple dots over here. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is my nose. I always use, again, that finger. This is just on the nose because this brush is just too big, and see, a little bit went a long way. Like this, there's too much on my nose right now. So I'm gonna try to like blend it up so that we can get some of that product like up here where we might need it, because I mean, you can see there's just too much. I can feel it. I don't even have to, I can like feel it on my finger, like too much product. So it's gonna take me a while to get used to that, but so I might actually have to use the brush just a little bit so it'll pick up that extra product. Okay, and now, like I said, I already did my brows, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit careful on this part. I'm gonna bring out that little concealer brush again so that I can get close to the eyebrows where I need to, and then just blend out the rest. Okay, so now we're just gonna use the brush. And I tend to do just like a stamping motion because I don't want to like, I'm pressing it into the skin and not wanting to I don't want the product to move too much. So that dries also a little fast. So we're just gonna, okay, I'm gonna blend the rest of this and try not to talk too much because I don't want to end up with dots on my chin or jaw, whatever. When I do this area, I always, you know, try to get, you know, do the puckered face. And I just go on the lower half of my cheek until I hit my ear and back to the lower, this corner of my mouth. So I'm literally going from the corner of my mouth to the top of my ear. And that's where I'm blending it. I'm not going above that. We want that to stay the darkest color. Okay, so now I'm going to do my eyes. So I start at the lower edge because I want to blend that, and then I want to keep this light. So I'm just going to kind of start doing that, so hopefully you can see, and then whatever I move any leftover up top with the brush. So try not to open my mouth, but it's like impossible. Okay, and I like that line right here, that bright line, so, and I go to the, so it's like a little triangle, okay? And I don't press very hard either. This is gentle, gentle area. And I'm a brute, so I'm like always rough anyways. Okay. So now we want that to be a nice blended line, because this is an extremely light color compared to this one, but this is what's going to really make the difference, you know. And no matter what, there's going to be foundation on your brush. That's just the way it is. So I'm marrying those two together. Excuse me. And then I'm, like I said, moving up. Okay. And now we're going to go even more gentle. And we're going to just try not to open my mouth. Okay. Gently under the eye. And then we're going to move any product left up top. This isn't, you know, this is enough to prime your lid for just an everyday look. You can put eyeshadow on this for sure. There's definitely, I mean, you can see there's more product now than there was before. So there's plenty to do a look if you wanted to. And then I just, like I said, I really make sure that that's blended. We don't want a harsh line. See how we got, so we're contouring, okay? Now we're gonna do the other side, so same thing. And then I kind of blend it down above the mouth, but that line you're following is the corner of your nose to your temple. So that's that line. And again, we got the under eye is in a really good spot. So now we're just blending the rest. because we don't want to see a harsh line. Excuse me. And then if you can kind of maybe hit some of those other spots again if you have any product. Okay. All right, so that is like the first half of how we do this. And now we're gonna move kind of quickly because we're running late. And we're gonna set this. So I'm using the Jeffree Star. I am magic, or no. Oh my gosh, why did I say that wrong? It's just magic, isn't it? I'm drawing a blank here. It's something. But it's the Jeffree Star setting powder. It's the only one he's got. And I have it in translucent. Now, I don't go crazy with the baking stuff either. We don't have time for that. And also, like, it's just, this is an everyday look, okay? And this is gonna get you there anyways. So I tap some into the thing, not a ton. I still have like a ton of it left. And I don't like having a mess in my little container here. So I just go ahead and take this little small brush. It's just a Real Techniques brush, nothing extravagant. And I just pick up whatever product is sitting in the container, because I'm like OCD and it has to be clean, so before I put it away. So I just pick up any of that extra, and then the first thing I do with that, because this is a smaller amount of powder, that goes right next to the nose in that crease. Because I hate creasing there. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna do, now we're gonna reinforce that brightness we put under the eye. So I'm just gonna dunk right in, pick up a good amount on the brush, and then I'm just gonna tap it once, because I still wanna keep a good amount on there, but then we're gonna go in. So I'm gonna start at the corner and work my way up and then down. And I'm just patting it. Pressing it in to the skin. We don't need to put extra on there and leave it to bake. This stuff does its job just fine, just like this. Okay, so the most powder, like setting powder I'm gonna use, is gonna be under my eye area. And you can see, like, that just kind of like, it just looks better. Okay, so now we're gonna dunk again into where most of the product is. We're gonna get a good amount on there, and then we're gonna tap it one time. And then starting at the corner and working our way over and then down. So we're still keeping up that triangle. Okay, so we still have quite a bit of powder left. So we're gonna powder the other areas that are important. So now I'm not trying to pick up a bunch. I just wanna pick up a little bit. And then I'm gonna tap it 2 or 3 times now, because now we're gonna do this section. So this is the other spot that we were trying to lighten. So it goes pretty much like mid-brow to mid-brow for me, and then down the middle, but not all the way up. So we're not setting the whole face because there's no reason to. And now we're gonna pick up some more. And my nose is like running like crazy, so that's awesome. And then I'm gonna do above the lip and blend it into the rest. Why? Because you drink stuff, you talk, all that. So this is another area we don't want to move, and this is also an area that we want to kind of have a little bit brighter, because it kind of goes with this bigger triangle right here. Okay, and now we still have some powder left, so we're gonna pick up, you know, decent amount, We don't want it too super cakey. And now I'm gonna go in this lower half of the cheek that we hit with a little bit of concealer. So we're going from the corner of the mouth to the top of the ear. Okay, and there's not a harsh line, but you can see there's a little bit of definition there, okay? Okay, and I take a little bit and just do the top under my chin, or under my lip, top of my chin, whatever you want to call it. Kind of blend it into that other area. And then if I have any blemishes or anything that I think we don't want that area, we want to make sure that that's enforced as well. So just because I want to be on the safe side, I'm just going to lightly dust a little bit more right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it on the other side, because that's pretty much where any breakouts would be. There's no, I'm like recovering from breakouts right now, you know what I mean? I don't have like an active breakout, but I'm like, I have like the, you know, the aftermath. So instead of being targeted to, like, if I had a breakout like right here, I would just, you know, on that breakout, because we don't want that product to move. Okay, so now we're good there. Now we still have some powder left over, but we've reinforced everything that we really needed to. And so again, the most important part of that reinforcement that we were going after in the first place is going to be under the eye. So I took about half of what I had left in the pan. This time I'm not tapping it off, that I really don't need to. There's not that much left. And we're just gonna go under the eye. And then again, we want to create that line from the corner of the eye out to the temple, because that's what's going to give you that uplifted look. So we're going to do that one more time, and I'm not leaving any powder behind. We're not baking again. We are pressing this into the skin, and I promise you it's not gonna move. You're set for the day doing it like this. Okay, now other side. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to reinforce the contouring that we did. In other words, we're going to bronze. Okay, so the concealer is going to leave it a little bit of a line, that we'll have to blend that in a second, but okay. So now I just take another little Real Techniques brush, nothing crazy, and then we're going to just go where we put all the foundation. Notice we didn't use any powder to set the foundation, and there's a reason for that, because I use a powder bronzer, contour Nars, and that is going to reinforce it in itself. We don't want to put powder on top of powder on top of powder, because that's how you get cake face. Okay, so we're not trying to do that. We just want to, like, you know, not have cake face, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and go in, pick up some bronzer. Okay, we're gonna make the pouty face again, because it's just like how you bronze. At least that's how I do it. I don't know, it's like impossible for me to like not open my mouth. And yeah, anyways, okay, so you can see where the line's supposed to be when I do that. But also, we don't want to age ourselves either. So we're not going to go all the way from the ear to the corner of the mouth, because the foundation's already there. So we're going to basically, we want the darkest point to be here, maybe a third to halfway at best. And you want it to be at that angle, because then that's what's going to you know, give you that look. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And I just pat. I'm not swiping or anything. We're patting. And we want it darkest up here by the hairline. And again, I'm not going all the way down. I don't need to, because it's going to look gradual with that darker foundation. It's going to kind of just blend together. So I'm mostly following the actual contour of my face, but we're going up again because we want, and we're not going all the way down. Okay. I forgot which way this thing was facing. It's weird. It's like, it only feels right going on one way. Okay. And that's honestly plenty. I'll probably even put too much on. I'll probably put more on than other people. Now, we're going to do the temples. And I don't know why I still make that face when I do it. I don't know, but I just do. So we're literally going for the temples in like this chunk. We want it to go up. We want it to be parallel with this line up here. And that's like the only spot that I actually do swipe. Okay. And then you don't have to do your forehead, but I do. I don't put a ton of product on it, and I don't want it in my hair. But I have like this weird like cowlick, hair lick, whatever you want to call it, thing right here. And I just, yeah, so I like to make sure. So we're just gonna, I don't do very much. So just a little bit of blending down the hairline and meeting in with the temple. And then up top. We don't need to go too far. This is basically just reinforcing the darkest part of the contour because our foundation's already darker than our skin. So it just is, it'll be cohesive. Okay. Now, again, because we're late, we're in a hurry, we don't have time to do like the full-on like nose contour, but we already kind of did some because we only put foundation on the sides of our nose instead of putting it on top, and that's to make sure that light concealer isn't blending into that lighter color and just giving you a different color. We want to make sure that we're just blending the edges, right? So we did that, and so now this brush, I'm using the same brush for the whole thing with my hair on it, and now we're gonna go down the nose. Okay, and we're just gonna do, I just make that face and I just go on the side and down. One side done. See how we still maintain that line? I also like to go underneath. Okay, now we'll do a little bit more with that in a second so it's not so harsh, but we've laid down the important part. So now we brighten the top half of my chin. I just feel like it's weird not putting bronzer on the chin, because if you think about it, initially bronzer, you know, it's supposed to hit the high points of your face because that's where the sun would naturally hit your face first, and that gives you that sun-kissed glow. But we're actually like we're trying to like enhance the features in our face as well. So I've always had a habit of putting it on the chin, so that's just where it goes. It goes there. Okay, and then we pick up a little bit more product, and now we're gonna carve out our jaw. Okay, and then I don't like having this little line here, so what I do is that in this little space, I just go up and then around to the ear, because we want to blend that as well. And I don't use a ton of product, mostly just what's on the brush already. Okay, and now I use this brush still. To start to blend down what we did on the jaw. And then I'm gonna kind of transfer over to this little paddle brush. And then I just pick up just a little bit of product. The hell? And go down the neck. Now I'm not putting any more product on it, it's just whatever's on the brush. Since if I was just wearing like a t-shirt, I wouldn't do all this. But if I'm wearing something like this, because we gotta blend it, Grandma always taught me to blend down the neck because you don't want a line. And so I'm just blending with what's left, okay? And then with whatever's left, just to make sure that that's nice and blended. Okay. Okay, and now the next and last part of what we're doing, I'm taking a totally different brush. This one doesn't have any product on it, okay? Because this is a little bit harsh on the nose, but that's fine. And I'm just gonna blend the side a little bit. You see how already that's like totally different? Boom. So it's not so harsh. And then if you had like this is what we had the lightning stuff on with, right? And notice I had concealer on the tip of my nose, but I didn't put any powder there, right? There's a reason. Okay, so the bronzer is coming down just a little bit too far, and that's okay. We're not putting any more product on here, but we're just gonna go up the nose ever so slightly with that. Okay, and that's it. That's that part done. But since and then also that little concealer line, because I have slightly hooded eyes, we're just gonna blend that out. Okay, and now we're gonna do blush. So let me get my blush out of here. Okay, so again, we want to look uplifted, and so I don't put it on the apples of my cheeks. I put it in that area as well to like be really uplifted. Just like that. Okay. All right, and then lastly, we're gonna go back and we're gonna highlight. Okay, and I've also been using a Nars highlighter. I really like this one. It's in Albatross. It's really pretty. It's really pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up some product. Okay. There's like little hairs that are like trying to get me from my mop of a head. Okay. And then the other places we want to highlight, I do under the brow. I still just use this big fan, whatever. Like this is my, like I said, my everyday. So we're not doing like anything crazy with eyeshadow. So I just put it directly on, and then I have it meet so that there's like another angle here, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna use our pinky, and I'm gonna do, here's why we didn't put any powder on the nose, because it gets its own powder. And we're gonna do the tip of the nose to kind of like make it look like we have like that cute little upturn nose. And then we're gonna do the exclamation point, where I'm gonna just lightly touch, because I only want it to be at the very highest point, and it gets real close to the dot, but not all the way. And then we're gonna go, I like to have it like right here, so now I'm going to put it right there, not all the way up in that, but just enough. See how it just like the light hits it? Okay. And then we're gonna not put too much more. I like lightly dipped it, and then I'm just gonna go like that, because you don't want it to look like you just packed on the highlighter there. Cupid's bow. Top of the chin. Why not? We already put bronzer down here, right? I'm gonna do above the brow today too. I don't always do that, but boom. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a super simple, like just something in the eyes, just so it's not blah. Throw on like liner and all that good stuff, and I will show you the completed look when I'm done. Okay. Okay, so that's it. This is my completed look. Fuck you, dude. Get out of here. Ugh. Okay, so here's my completed look. We're looking snatched, but we're late for work. But we did it all way easier than trying to do all that extra nonsense with contouring. And I think it looks great. I don't think anybody would know the difference. So try it out and let me know how it works for you. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you next time.